Every house has this hidden story, a kind of secret history. It's a story of struggle, of resilience, and it's written not in some old book, but in its pipes, its drains, and its fixtures. Today, we're going to uncover that story by looking at one very specific and very challenging case study. So let's dive in.
Oh man, we've all felt that panic, right? That sudden, awful, sinking feeling when your home's most essential systems decide to fail at the absolute worst possible moment. It feels like a total surprise attack, just a random bit of bad luck. But what if it isn't random at all?
And that is the big question we're tackling today. We're going to completely reframe these kinds of household disasters. We're going to stop looking at them as isolated incidents and start seeing them as the, predictable results of a long, long battle between a house and its unique environment.
To really get this, we have to learn how to read the secret story of a house. And that story is told through its plumbing, revealing pretty much everything about its age, its location, and the specific challenges it's up against every single day. Okay, so for our story, we're heading to St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Now, it's a beautiful community for sure, but its location right there on the shores of Lake St. Clair makes it the perfect place to see this relentless pressure a home can face from the outside world.
So let's meet the first major character in this drama, the environment itself. And we're not just talking about a little rain or snow here. These are powerful, invisible forces that are waging a constant war on the homes built there. First off, there's the water. Being so close to the lake means there's a really high water table. And what that means is groundwater is always pushing against the foundations, always trying to find a way into basements. This forces sump pumps to run pretty much non-stop. It's a real battle of endurance.
And then you've got the cold, the infamous Michigan freeze-thaw cycle. It's like a slow-motion earthquake happening every winter. See, when the ground freezes, it expands with this incredible force, and when it thaws, it shrinks back. This cycle of stress is just brutal on rigid underground pipes, leading to cracks and breaks that you can't even see until it's way too late.
And get this, even the ground under your feet can be the enemy. The clay soil that's common in the area is really unstable. It swells up when it gets wet, and it shrinks when it dries out. That constant shifting puts immense stress on older, rigid sewer lines, eventually just cracking them or pulling them apart.
So you've got the environment attacking from the outside, but what about the threats that are already inside? Well, to understand that, we need to meet our second antagonist, the ghosts in the walls, the decisions made by builders more than half a century ago.
This timeline right here tells a huge part of the story. The vast majority of homes in this area went up in a big post-war boom. And what that means is they were built with the materials they had back then. Materials that, we now know have a very limited and often very problematic lifespan.
Yeah, just take a look at these materials. The galvanized steel pipes they used for water, they're now corroding from the inside out. That's where you get that rusty water and terrible shower pressure. And those old cast iron and clay sewer lines, they're brittle, which makes them super easy targets for that shifting soil we talked about, not to mention invasive tree roots.
So here's where it all comes to a head. What happens when that relentless pressure from the environment slams into these fragile, aging materials from the past? The result isn't just a little drip, it's a full-blown plumbing crisis.
And the failures, they just start to stack up. The corroded pipes finally give out. The overworked sump pump fails during the worst storm of the year. Tree roots cause a complete sewer blockage. The old water heater tank just goes. See, these aren't separate problems. They are all symptoms of the exact same underlying battle.
And to put that into perspective, just think about one of those failures. When an old water heater tank, weakened by years and years of rust, finally gives way, it doesn't just leak. No, it can dump 40 to 50 gallons of water into your basement in an instant. That's the scale of the crisis we're talking about here. But okay, this story isn't all doom and gloom. It's not a hopeless fight. Today, homeowners have an entire arsenal of modern tools and strategies to fight back and actually protect their homes from these threats.
I mean, check out this toolkit. We can now send tiny cameras down sewer lines to see the exact location of a break. We can use high-pressure water jets to literally obliterate tree roots. We can replace a whole home's old, failing pipes with flexible, durable PEX. And battery backups for sump pumps. That means they won't quit during a power outage, which is exactly when you need them most.
And just as important as the cool tech is the process. A modern, professional approach brings order to all that chaos. It starts with a proper diagnosis to find the real problem, not just the symptom. Then you get a transparent repair process, and it's all followed by testing and verification to make sure the fix is going to last.
So we've gone really deep into the specific story of homes in St. Clair Shores. But the real takeaway here isn't just about one town in Michigan. It's about learning to see your own home in a brand new light.
Because the truth is, every single home out there is in the same kind of negotiation. It's constantly pushing back against the local climate, the soil it's built on, and the materials used to build it maybe 50, 60, or 70 years ago. The first and honestly most powerful step you can take is to just understand what that story is.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the secret story of your home? Was it built on shifting clay soil during a big building boom with now outdated materials? Does it face extreme heat or that freeze-thaw cycle? Because once you know who the antagonists are in your home story, you'll know exactly how to defend it.